tell me a bit more about the issue you're experiencing?
So I've got a big complaint to make. I need to speak with your supervisor. I can't say it to you because it's quite confidential, but I've got a big complaint to make.
Okay, I will transfer you to the complaints manager.
Hello, how can I help you with your complaint?
Hello, so this video we're going to build a multi-agent customer support phone system with Vapi. So the way this is going to work is we're going to have a customer support manager, which is the one that receives the call. And this manager is going to transfer the call to the order tracking specialist if the user has a question about the order, an order that they have, or the complaints handler, which is a separate agent as well. Okay, so to save us some time, I created 3 assistants, which are pretty basic to create. There's plenty of videos on how to create assistants in Vapi. So in this case, I've just used some custom default prompt that they give you when you create an assistant in Vapi. Temperature, I always set it to 0.1 because that makes them more reliable. In this case, we need reliable agents because we have some tool calls and some transfers. Then transcribe, I always use deepgram over 3. Voice, I use, it should be 11 labs 2v2.5, which I think is the best one. And let's actually change this one as well to a different voice. We can keep this one as Elliot actually. And this one, Ethan's fine. Yeah. Okay. So we have the 3 agents set up. So now let's actually build a multi-agent system. And to do that, I use the squads feature in Vapi. We create a new squad, and our first agent is going to be the manager. And then we create the squad. Now that we have the squad created, we need to add new agents to this squad. We're going to add the complaints manager and the orders manager. They're all in the squad. Let's actually put them this way so it matches the Canva layout. Then we can just add connections from the manager to the order manager and from the manager to the complaints handler as well. Okay, so now we have this set up. All that's left to do is actually adding the transitions between the agents. So this one, order manager will say because this can be improved, obviously this description, but the more descriptive you are here, the better the transfer will be. You need to be very careful here because this needs to be a reliable transfer, otherwise you may get unexpected behavior, and we don't want that obviously, so I think it's important to make this as well structured as possible. Okay, so now we've saved those destination settings. We can see it here. Yep. So this is just a phrase that the agent says before transferring to the next assistant or the next agent. This is just the description that's going to be used to determine when that transition should be made. Okay. So what is important to know, I like to sprinkle in a bit of theory always, is that this here, we have one model here, which is one LLM, in this case GPT-4o, another LLM here, another LLM here. They're all separate right now. There's no memory transfer. To add memory transfer, we'd have to use some more complex mechanisms here in Vapi. So they're all disconnected agents. And the other thing you need to consider is that this here is a separate LLM. Obviously, Vapi hides this under the hood, but this is a separate LLM that's actually listening to the conversation and determining when the switch should happen. So this is not connected to any of the agents. This is like a separate LLM that handles the connections. So this is maybe a limitation of Vapi because you can't choose the model here. They just, I don't know which model they use. I guess it's something like GPT-4o. But this is why sometimes custom solutions may be better because you can share memory and you can also have control over these transfers here because I don't know which algorithm they use, how they determine the transfers. All I type in is the description and we don't have 100% control of that. So in the past, I've had to create some custom built solutions because in production grade systems, these transfers need to be a lot more reliable. So you can't just rely on this Vapi description. But that's just something to consider in the future. Another thing we could add, I'm not going to add this now because this is just a demo for simplicity. We could add a transfer back to the manager from the order manager. So let's say you've handled the order question and now the user has a different question. So then you could transfer them back to the manager And then let's say if they have a complaint afterwards, they can transfer to the complaint handler and back to the manager, and we keep going forever to keep the conversation going. Because in this case, once we go to the order manager, we can't ask anything else other than orders, because the conversation is going to be ended as soon as we ask about anything else. Okay, so another thing that we should consider is this prompt here. I told the manager to not answer anything about orders. I told them to transfer to the orders or complaints manager once they have a question about orders. And these ones, yeah, I just changed the prompt slightly to tell them they're specialized in orders and not to answer anything about orders, about anything other than orders. And this one to not answer anything other than issues with products or complaints. Okay, so let's go to squads. We have the squad ready. We can just talk to the squad.
Hi there, this is Alex from Tech Solutions Customer Support. How can I help you today?
Hello, Alex. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you for asking. How can I assist you today?
So I've got an issue with my order.
Okay, I will transfer you to the order specialist. Hello, how can I help you with your order?
Yeah, so I've ordered something and he hasn't arrived yet. Can you help me with that?
I understand that's frustrating. I'm here to help get this sorted out for you.
Okay, so we see the transfer worked seamlessly. We went from this one to this one. And we know that because the first message was, hello, how can I help you with your order? Actually, we didn't change the voice, so we kept it the same. That's why the voice was the same as the manager. Yeah, so that's fine. Okay, so we see the order manager transition worked. So now all we need to do is test the complaints manager transition.
Hi there, this is Alex from Tech Solutions Customer Support. How can I help you today?
Hello, Alex, I've got a complaint to make.
I understand that's frustrating. I'm here to help get this sorted out for you. Could you tell me a bit more about the issue you're experiencing?
So I've got a big complaint to make. I need to speak with your supervisor. I can't tell it to you because it's quite confidential, but I've got a big complaint to make.
Okay, I will transfer you to the complaints manager.
Hello, how can I help you with your complaint?
Hello, so my order arrived and it was completely broken.
I understand that's frustrating. I'm here to help get this sorted out.
Okay, so we see the transfer to the complaint handler worked as well. So one thing to note is that the latency here is because I'm using the laptop. In an actual deployment setting with a phone, there'll be a lot less latency. But yeah, we can see the multi-agent system works. But then you may be asking yourself, why would I use a multi-agent system in this case? Well, because in an actual real-life scenario, the order manager would have access to tools, and the complaints handler would actually also have access to tools. So for example, the order manager may have access to tools that allow it to see the orders available, get information about an order, create an order, change the status of an order. The complaints handler may actually be able to add tickets to your support system, remove tickets, see tickets. And if you put all those tools into the same manager, you're going to have problems, like I've said before in my previous video. So that's why you just have these multiple agents to split the tools across multiple specialists. And then that improves the quality of your system and the reliability. And as you can see here, we've got an hierarchical structure in architecture in this multi-agent system, which I spoke about previously. So this is a very common one. So customer support agents usually have this type of structure, and we could have more agents. We could have sub agents. Let's say the manager has multiple sub agents with one for each type of order or one for each type of product that we have, and then the complaint handler may also have other sub agents. Hopefully you got a lot of value from this video and you enjoyed it. So now you should be able to go to Vapi, create your agents, and then build them into a squad. And then using this squad, you can create multi-agent systems, and then you can actually sell this or build them for your business. If you want something like this for your business, then you can build it yourself, as you just saw, or you can reach out to us to get a custom built solution that's top tier, reliable, and built quickly and efficiently. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.